After a year of work in this process, after working with more than 150 Libyan personalities from all the regions, from all the political affiliations, working in 6-7 different locations in Libya, 6-7 different locations all over the world, different countries, different continents. Finally, the moment has come in which we can propose a national unity government. Let me first of all remember the Libyan people who are watching us, who have been encouraging the representatives, the participants in this dialogue, and especially those for whom this proposal arrives too late. Too many Libyans have lost their lives. Too many children have been suffering. Too many mothers have been suffering. According to the United Nations agencies, around 2.4 million Libyans are in a situation of humanitarian need. For all of them, our apologies for not having been able to propose this government before, but also our joy because there is at least a chance. And I would like to ask all these Libyans to think of an opportunity for their country, but also an opportunity for so many people in the region, in Syria, in Iraq, in Yemen, countries where they cannot even afford the luxury of what we are doing here today, which is to propose something, to propose a list of names that can be agreed by everybody. I say can be agreed because it will not necessarily be agreed by everybody. And we are sure that many people will think that some of the names, or maybe all the names, are not good, and that they could have proposed a better list. No doubt. This was not an easy task. We have been listening to many people, inside and outside the dialogue, and we believe that this list can work. But as I said, we encourage the Libyan people to understand that the options were not infinite, that perfection maybe was not a possibility, but I think that it is a quite reasonably good list of names, politicians, personalities that will do their best, I'm sure, to take their country out of this crisis. The second message, of course, is to thank all the personalities that have participated and have provided names, ideas, suggestions for this list of names. There is a political agreement, and this is the result of many hours, many days and months of work, and equally this list of names the same. It is the sacrifice, the capacity to work, the capacity to team up together to overcome differences of all the personalities that are here with me and some others who are not here today, but we think of them and we remember them exactly as all the ones that are here, and their courage, their generosity, their creativity deserves from all the Libyans and from the international community recognition and praise. Let me equally thank the international community, all the special envoys, ambassadors, representatives of different countries. They are, most of them, also here with us. International organizations, countries, all of them interested in achieving peace and prosperity in Libya. We, the international community, the Libyans, all those involved in this dialogue think that Libya is a great country. And Libya is going to prove, if this government is agreed and this government can work, that is a great country able to overcome the huge challenges it has. Humanitarian, economic, financial, security, mafias trafficking with people, but also become a reference and an example, as I said before, for those who are suffering. For the United Nations, for all the team, has been a privilege, has been an honor to work with so many Libyans. Not only with the ones that are here today, representatives of the Libyan institutions, representatives of the Libyan civil society, representatives of municipalities, political parties, tribes, really very wide representation of the Libyan people, and I want to enhance very specially, because sometimes they are not mentioned, representatives of the women, representatives of youth organizations. Their contribution has been really precious, and their contribution, I am sure, will be extremely important and precious in the coming months. So, a privilege and an honor to work with you all, and if I can add as a personal note, for me has been an extremely rewarding experience. I have learned a lot every day, a lot of good lessons from all of them, and it has equally been extremely rewarding for me to work with an incredibly good, the best team of people in the United Nations, no doubt. Their sacrifice, their capacity really has also been instrumental to reach this result. Before I read the list of names, I think we all agree, participants in the dialogue, international community, media, that our hosts here in Morocco have been an instrumental, a fundamental element for the success of these talks. Morocco has played a very important role, not only hosting, facilitating what we have been doing, but doing much more than that. And I want to mention His Majesty King Mohammed VI, I want to mention his government, and I want to mention all the team of the Foreign Affairs and other Moroccan institutions that have been supporting us. And finally, before I read the list, just let me thank you all, the guys from the media. You have been suffering also with us. Press meetings at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning. Today you have been waiting for too long. Sorry for making you wait. As I said, as a joke to one of your colleagues yesterday, it's much safer to be sports journalist, you know the time in which the football matches or the basketball matches start and finish. This is never the case with complicated political negotiations. Anyway, the proposal we have for the government, first of all, let me say that there is, as you know, the previous team to lead the Presidential Council, to lead the government, was 5 personalities. It has been agreed to add 1 personality. There will be 6 members of this Presidential Council. This was a proposal that was made initially in the dialogue. We were discussing whether 5 or 6. Finally, it will be 6 personalities. The Prime Minister proposed this Mr. Fayez Serraj. He's an MP at the House of Representatives from Tripoli. It is proposed as the 3 deputy prime ministers, Mr. Ahmed Maitik, Mr. Fatih al-Majbari, and Mr. Musa Kuni. One of them is from the west, one of them is from the east, one of them is from the south. And the 2 senior ministers to complete the Presidential Council proposed. One is Mr. Omar Al-Aswad from Sintan, and the other one is Mr. Mohammed Al-Amari. You know him very well. He's a member of the GNC dialogue team. I want to enhance 2 important elements here. One is that all of them will work as a team. We don't have the time now to dwell on details on the voting system, but this will be a team. Their votes are expected to have the same value in the first rounds of voting, and then in the process, of course, a system to overcome possible blockades will be agreed, but all of them, I insist, will have similar importance, and all of them will have to work as a team. It has been proposed also that all of them rotate in the representation role that corresponds to Libya in the international scene, and this will also be a way to show the importance that all of them have in this team. It has also been proposed a list of names to accompany, to be part of the government representing different regions, different cities. And I would like to insist that this is a proposal from the national dialogue, but these are not members of the government yet. They have to be accepted by the members of the Presidential Council, and they will decide whether they accept these proposals and whether these members become full ministers in the future government. However, the members of the national dialogue think that it's important to make some of these suggestions, and that this will add something that has been extremely important for all of us, which is a sense of inclusion, a sense of balance, a sense that all Libyans have to feel represented in the group. So, the list of ministers proposed are Mr. Fatih al-Hangari, Mr. Osama Siala, Mr. Osama As-Said, Mr. Tarek Youssef, Mr. Abdesalam El-Hassi, Mr. Shibani Bohamoud, Mr. Mustafa Abu Shagur, Mr. Ashur Shuael, Mr. Brahim Al-Nayed, Mr. Abu Ajila Saif al-Nasser, Mr. Salam Kenan, Mrs. Amal Al-Hajj, Mrs. Iman Ben Younes, Mr. Khalil Al-Bakush, Mr. Mahmoud Ben Shaban, Mr. Murad Hamaima, Mr. Taher Al-Soni, and there are two more very important proposals. One of them is the National Security Advisor, the person proposed to chair the National Security Council, which will have a rank of a minister, and the proposal is Mr. Fatih Bishaga. And finally, also another important proposal, the person who is proposed to chair the State Council in the transitional phase, and of course, once the transitional phase is finished, it will be up to the State Council to either confirm or not confirm the proposal, but the proposal to chair the State Council is Mr. Abderrahman Suehli. So this is the proposal from the National Dialogue. What I ask all the Libyans is not to think of what is missing, of what they would have liked to see in this list and they don't see, but to think that this, if supported by all the Libyans, will be the best government in the world. And if it is not supported, no matter how good they are, it is not going to work. This government will need a huge support of the Libyan people, and then, I insist, will be the best possible government. Will need the support of all the personalities that are represented here, the ones that are back in the different institutions and in the Libyan civil society, and I am sure there will be also a lot of support from the international community. It will not be the lack of support from the international community that will make this government not to fulfill all the expectations. We will be there. The international community knows that more presence, more support is expected from them, and when I encourage today all the Libyans to support, I can assure them that also the international community is going to provide their utmost support for the government. So this is what I wanted to tell you tonight.